It's Talk 580, 105.9 KMJ. Chris Daniel here, and we were talking about this just about this time yesterday. A bunch of people got this to my attention, and I thank them for it. AB 1134, which has got a short fuse on it. They had hearings today on it, but we just found out Sunday night. 1134, kind of an outright attack on the CCW application process, and places a lot more burden likely on applicants. And it's probably trying to overturn a couple of court cases that have defined what is the CCW rights and processes in this state. We're pretty lucky in Fresno County, but what about other counties? Because it seems to want to remove the duty part of sheriffs to accept and process applications and institute a system where they could just hand it over to a police chief. So you've got an elected official versus an appointed official, and that's when the politics really starts to happen on your gun rights. We knew who we needed to talk to. She was busy in Atlanta yesterday. We welcome Sheriff Margaret Mims. Hi, Sheriff.
Hey, Chris.
How's Atlanta?
It's raining. I understand it's raining there, too.
It was raining all morning. Stopped for a little bit. It's going to start up in a minute, so we got a little bit of help.
Wow. Well, that's good. I'll tell you what, I've heard y'all and all y'all a lot today.
Yeah, you know you're in the deep south when you hear the all y'all.
That's the plural. That's the correct plural derivative of y'all.
Sheriff, how much does AB 1134 concern you, especially considering we have a number of people have claimed to confirm that there are a lot of California sheriffs behind this bill?
Well, it doesn't concern me in Fresno County because nothing will change, Chris.
Right.
And I think probably people in Fresno County could have guessed that.
They did.
The concern is in counties where sheriffs don't like to issue, or they require just cause, or they want to be able to punt to police chiefs.
Right.
The State Sheriff's Association did take a support position on this. I'm kind of waiting to hear what the NRA and the CRPA are going to do. They have not sent letters of opposition in. Mm-hmm. I think they're watching it. I will tell you that just lately, the State Sheriff's Association has become concerned about some language that has been added that may not help us any. I mean, may not help the pro-CCW sheriffs. And in many cases, what state sheriffs has done is if language gets put in that we cannot agree with, or it causes a lot of disagreement within the association, they will pull their support position, and that may be what's happening.
So that's what we have to watch. The bill language that I have, I believe, is the original issued by Mark Stone on February 27th. What are you most keeping? What words are you watching for, Sheriff?
We watch anything that says shall.
Right.
Rather than if it gives us flexibility. Anything that requires sheriffs to do something, normally we take an opposed position.
Sheriff, when you look at the wording of the bill, and the explanation is 2 paragraphs, it basically, the first paragraph tells us what existing law is, and the second one tells us what they want to do with it. They seem so similar. I felt at first confused, and then after a little deceived by it, because the wording is nearly the same. What is the fine difference? Is it just a changing? Is it just a diluting of your duty if you were a sheriff who wanted to wiggle out from a county where they weren't as in favor of the Second Amendment and thereby protect yourself election-wise?
It could be. Currently, it says the current law says police chiefs can defer to a sheriff. What happened in Los Angeles County, Sheriff Baca said, I won't issue CCWs to city residents. You must go to your city police chief. And he lost that. He's lost it because the judge said the law does not allow you to just refuse to issue CCWs based on you live in a city, you have to have your police chief do it. So the current law would make it a two-way street. Police chiefs can defer to sheriffs, or sheriffs can defer to police chiefs.
But a chief can't initiate without the approval of the sheriff, right?
That's correct.
As it stands. Would this change that?
It would not change that, no.
Okay. And then I know in our county and in our city, the two cities, that wouldn't. I don't think that would come up. But some listeners were still worried about it based on the incrementalism of it.
Yes, and I can certainly see that. Any new gun laws, I have the same, position in any, for instance, the micro stamping and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I can see where somebody would be concerned about incrementalism.
Well, but combined also with what appears to be, protecting that next election for certain sheriffs. All of our constituencies are different. And if you take a look, there's a map on the internet. Somebody will search it, and it shows, the pro-CCW sheriffs, and it's all color-coded. And you can probably predict Bay Area, Southern California, and right.
Coastal counties. Their constituencies are very different than in Central California.
I'm thinking,
we almost compete to have the most CCWs.
Well, and I got interested in not so much San Francisco County, which is obvious. We know what Baca wanted to do in Los Angeles. But when you get into kind of those marginal counties, like the one that popped into my head was Alameda County. You tell a guy in okay, the name of the town is not going to pop into my head, so I'll go with Livermore. A guy in Livermore or folks in Livermore might be a lot more pro-Second Amendment than, say, folks in Oakland. Is this giving wiggle room to that sheriff who's is balancing it, having to do a balancing act on this?
It could, but when it comes to the voters, sheriffs need to be very cautious about this, especially in the counties where they have a constituency of pro-CCW. They're going to have to be very careful if they take the position of, I'm not going to issue CCWs in the cities. I think they have a lot to lose. Sheriffs, for the most part, get so much support when they're pro-CCW. I think sheriffs who are in those gray area counties,
mm-hmm.
they don't realize how much support they would get if they would fully support the Second Amendment. People just come out and support them very vocally, and I think it's to their advantage, not because it's the right thing to do, but because of the strength of the support that they would get.
Sheriff, devil's advocate question on the mega cities on this. In terms of public safety, in terms of issuing a proper CCW to a truly qualified person, right? Which, we know who the bad guys are. But in the city, like a city the size of Los Angeles, does the sheriff of a county that large have as much knowledge of the people as does maybe the police chief or his commanders in that situation? Is there any scenario in a much larger city where you'd actually be doing a better job making sure bad guys don't get CCWs by passing this along?
Well, I don't think so. The same databases are available to sheriffs that are available to those police chiefs.
And knowing the street isn't going to do you much good because the street's not where you're issuing CCWs.
That's exactly right. But I do, before I have to go, I want to bring up another assembly bill. It's 1154. That is very important. It's being carried by Adam Gray from up north. I think it's maybe Stanislaus County. But it would make CCW information, like the names of CCW holders, non-public information, which right now it is. If somebody asks for my CCW names,
yes,
it's public information. It's required for me to provide that. So I think this is I know there's 1134 and 1154. 1154 is the Public Records Act Assembly Bill, which would be very good because we know what happened on the East Coast a couple of years ago where a newspaper published names and addresses of CCW holders.
I mean, why don't you just tell the strawberry addict where the strawberries are. It's crazy. All right, 1154. We need to make noise on that. Is that coming up quickly, or where is it in the process?
I'm not sure where
I'll
it is.
check for it.
I haven't heard yet where 1134. It went to committee today.
Yes.
It was expected to come out, but I have not kept track of where 1154 is.
I'll do that. We'll do that here, Sheriff. Thanks a lot.